So, doing a little something different today. I figured out how to get the multi-world randomizer to work to cross Metroid with Zelda, and I was very excited to play with my friend with that. And then I realized when we played it, we always played it in person, and we played it at like my house, and I always did all the Metroid sections. I'm going to take advantage of my fast forward through the cutscene here. So I wanted to play the multi-world, but I don't think he knows enough of how to beat the Metroid half. So rather than do nothing, I've decided I'm going to play through a 100% Super Metroid from memory, so I might have to go back and look for stuff. Oops, turn fast forward back off. Just for the sake of having a nice, easy explanation on how to get all the items and the proper way you're supposed to get them. The multi-world randomizer, specifically for the Super Nintendo Zelda game and the Super Nintendo Metroid game, where you can cross the back and forth to find the items in both, does not have any complicated tricks required for the Super Metroid half. It does everything vanilla. So I'm just going to grab everything normally, explain what I'm doing. I haven't really seen a lot of people playing the vanilla game with the intention of explaining what they were doing as they went. There's not a lot to explain here because the randomizer skips this. I mean, if you tuned in here thinking this was a randomizer and you saw Siri Station, you're probably thinking like, what are you even doing here? I do believe that speedrun wise, he actually leaves once you've taken a certain amount of damage, so it's not actually any point in dodging. Dodging just makes it take longer. And your first taste of running away. So the randomizer skips this because there's no items, and it's just kind of a 2 or 3 minute tax on your time. It's the very beginning of the game. It is a pretty generous time limit, and even if you fail, it's like the game's like, whatever, you're out 2 minutes, do better. So there's not a lot of reason to even bother doing this. As I promptly failed the first jump up the shaft. Yeah, we had over 30 seconds left. Not worth adding to every randomizer. I completely get taking the cutscenes and such out. Anyway, most of the randomizers... speed. Most of the randomizers are just going to drop you off right here, start of the game. So, most randomizers. And we're only going to talk about the Super Metroid randomizer right now. If you're doing the Zelda / Metroid randomizer, you pretty much immediately go into Link to the Past, because there's a lot more items that you can get right away there than you can get here. And that door, I believe, is the one that takes you to Zelda. So that's what you do first. You go through that door, you go play Zelda for a while first. Metroid requires a couple of items before you can even make progress. Here in the vanilla game, you have to get the morph ball before even the enemies will spawn. Nope, didn't quite make that jump right. If you're not as sloppy, you can do that without having to bunny hop out of each one. Oh look, fast forward. So, this is Morph Ball. This is where Morph Ball will be in a Super Metroid randomizer. It's kind of 50-50 whether Morph Ball is here. they will often put it either there or in this next spot I'm going to show you. The Zelda randomizer doesn't usually put it there because it would be kind of mean. Oh yeah, vanilla, you have to go down here first. Get your first missile tank. Oh, I should have hacked in the fast item pickups. It'll play that little fanfare every single time, but not in the randomizer. It's one of those nice little quality of life things. Oop, as I promptly missed the freaking door because I pushed the wrong one. Okay, well, I believe. Wow. Oops. We have to go back there later anyway. There's an item in the ceiling that the randomizer won't expect you to get anyway. Alright. I have to go kill all... So a brown door, you probably won't see them very often in the actual randomizer, but brown means you have to kill all the enemies in the room. I guess brown technically means it's not powered. I guess the space pirates are like jamming that door or something. I'm gonna go show off that one thing that I screwed up. Because those enemies were not there to drop missiles to replace the one I screwed up. Red door, 5 missiles. So this room, if you're playing an actual Super Metroid randomizer, this is usually where your morph ball is going to be. It's going to be right where that energy tank is. That energy tank usually needs high jump, but what we're going to do is we're going to manipulate that enemy a little bit. Ah, didn't quite get it. Basically, he goes back and forth. Just jump, and if he hits you, you get hit into the item. This is very commonly where the morph ball is in a normal Super Metroid randomizer, because it's harder than the other spot. So this is, I feel like it's always here. There's then another item right there. And now the Super Metroid randomizer will usually go back upstairs. Now, I'm going to be playing through a vanilla version of the game, so I can't actually do all of the checks that you might be able to do in your randomizer. There was 2 more items in the room I was in before. There's 1 more item that was left of where I was. There's an item I'm going to run straight over right now, but I'm going to come back from later to show off exactly where they are. But remember, I'm playing a vanilla game, so I did not have the advantage of getting, say, a power bomb drop, which is pretty common. This game has little bombs you can drop when you're a ball. But the randomizer, it's kind of maybe 25% of the time you actually get that. There's a super version of the bomb that does everything the bomb can do, only better. The downside is it requires ammunition, and the game really likes to make you watch your ammunition instead of just being able to spam the cheapo ones. So you'll notice me doing a wall jump here, mostly because I like to, not because they're required. It's actually probably faster to just jump on the things one at a time. Wall jumps are super helpful, but technically not required. There's a couple spots in the game where, like, a bonus item is going to have it be required. I keep forgetting I need to do everything vanilla, not power through. It's been a while since I played vanilla, but I know where everything is. Short of forgetting something here or there. If you're super new to Metroid and you're trying to play the combo randomizer, I really suggest you just at least try to play the game vanilla first. You're just asking for trouble if you've never played the game. And this is one of the classic games. This is a very good game. Remember, this is a Super Nintendo game, and it has more depth than a lot of modern games, I think. So, this is bomb. This will let me drop those little bombs. Little bombs. They blow up things that the other power beam can't. You're not going to see it very often. Most of the time a randomizer is going to give you power bombs. Because there are, I'm just going to pick a number here, there's maybe 16 or so actual key items in this game, and over 100 like ammunition tanks. So most of your items for Super Metroid are going to be missiles, super missiles, power bombs. And and energy tanks. And then occasionally you're gonna get something cool. Oops. For the very skilled, you can technically... Oh, I almost got it. You can technically escape by jumping your way out like that. It's not worth it. You can just use the bombs that you just got. This is the intended way out. But if you're really gung-ho about trying to do things out of order, you can technically get down there and see what that guy gives you. It might not be bombs, so you might not be able to get back out. So make sure when you go to get an item, like say I had gotten super missiles or something down there. If I run over here and I got Morph Ball and I go down there to get... Actually, I'll just do it. If I go down there to get the bomb item and it's not bomb and it's not power bomb, you have to do that little very tight jump. The goal is to turn into a ball in midair after you jump to be able to squeak in there. I almost got it. I do believe that you have to also... See, I'm not that good at any of the tricks. I usually play vanilla. Not vanilla. I usually play, I guess, what they call easy mode. I don't like the tricks being required. I like tricks that are easy. I like tricks that are learnable by somebody who doesn't necessarily have the patience to practice a crazy trick for hours and hours and hours. I don't like the really hard tricks being required. It makes me mad. So I like the Zelda combo randomizer because no tricks are required. If you know a trick, great. You can kind of maybe sneak some stuff a little earlier, cut some time off, show some stuff off, but you don't get stuck because you didn't happen to know that you could do something. So my goal here is to show everything vanilla, and then if I happen to know the trick, I will at least mention it and ideally demonstrate it. Getting out of that bomb spot that I failed like 8 times and gave up, it is significantly easier if you already have the high jump boots, and I believe that even the randomizer that does require tricks, if you go to the dedicated Super Metroid one, they have separated that trick out as either you have high jump boots or you don't, and they've increased the expected difficulty. So I don't think you have to do that jump without high jump boots, unless you're playing on a harder difficulty. I don't know if I've ever done it without the boots. I know that I've done it with. Actually, those 2 times that I was up there as a ball and just barely didn't make it, those would have made it if I had high jump boots. I'm not going to explain wall jumps quite yet, though. Instead, we're going to fast forward this elevator, because elevators take a little while. So there is a room down here that you will 100... Oops, I went too far. You will 100% of the time see speedrunners go into this room up here. Oop, too far. So, this is a room you're supposed to leave for later. You will always see speedrunners come in here. You can, you spend that 5 missiles, you can go get those 5 missiles. The floor crumbles right there. And there's a little piston that comes down. In order to get over crumbly blocks, you have to hold down the run button. Which works. Bonk. But then that piston comes down and says, nah, you ain't fast enough. You are supposed to come back with the speed booster. The game intends for you to come back with the speed booster. The Super Metroid / Zelda randomizer will not put anything important back there that needs this, they won't put the speed booster back there, because you can't put the speed booster somewhere where you need the speed booster to get to it. Speed booster just makes you run faster, okay? But you're always going to see this. You're going to see, when I jump, if I just jump and move, Samus just moves. If I move sideways first, she does that spinny jump. You keep your momentum through doorways, so we're going to actually spinny jump through that door while holding the run button. Now I'm only holding jump. Tap down again, and I screwed it up. My goal here is I'm going to go into morph ball mode by tapping down twice. So first tap just makes me point down. Second tap I go into ball. If I hit down right when I hit the ground, I don't do that little bounce animation. The bounce resets your momentum. If you hit it right at the same time you hit the ground, it doesn't reset your momentum. So what we're trying to do is somersault jump. Somersault jump, turn into a ball as we hit the ground and keep moving, and we will have kept that tiny bit of run momentum that we got when we started our jump. And we slide right under those pillars. Do not worry if you can't do that. That took me an hour or so to practice, but it is so useful for speedrunning. And it's a great sequence break, too. I'm going to do the thing it would have broken. But yeah, you get an item there, and an item here. So in a randomizer, there's 2 items here. Plus the one out that you get from the crumble block, that's 3 items. They could be anything. They could even be missiles. And then another item. Alright? That's 4 items in this area. Only one of which you could get normally. And then how do you get out? Well, you shoot the ceiling. And look at this. Another item. 5 items, 4 of which you only get if you can do a relatively easy trick. It looks complicated because it's more than one button press, but once you get the hang of it, it's not hard. Like, I only screwed it up because I'm talking at the same time. Now, in a vanilla run, that gives me these super missiles that I've got highlighted in green here. I'm not supposed to have those yet. They're not really going to mean anything sequence break wise. What it normally lets you do is skip one of the bosses. Yeah, screw these guys. It's not going to mean anything because I'm going to go kill the boss anyway. It's just normally you would have to turn around and go back to that room after you have the speed booster. But, you know, I got some extra stuff that I get to start with now. Let's see. At the very bottom of this room, and if you're playing this for the first time and you're watching me for some reason, do keep in mind, you haven't really had any opportunity to go the wrong way. There's been a couple of those extra doors I'm skipping. They lead you to things like map rooms that help flesh your map out for you. Go ahead and go through those doors. There is no door that leads you down an hour-long wrong direction. There's none of that. Every time you go through a door, it's going to lead to something. Worst case scenario, you get a missile tank. So, best case scenario, you see something like this. These weird little blocks that look different. You bounce down here. And now you've got charge beam. There is actually another item even further below us, but without speed booster I can't get it. So we're going to have to come back for that anyway. So, keep this spot in mind. Boing, boing, boing. Actually, the actual way you're supposed to beat this section is you climb all the way to the top. I went down to the bottom to get the charge beam, which lets me hold down the shoot button. You know, and I shoot a bigger blast. The most important and underutilized part of it is if you have a full charge and you somersault into an enemy, they take the damage from your shot. So, when you're jumping around and you don't know if there's an enemy about to spawn on the screen just out of sight, you can just run around with the beam charged. And if you see an enemy, you can just jump. And most of the time, you'll just kill the enemy and take no damage. This was a little hidden save point that if you have the map room, I think, it'll show up on the map, giving you a hint that it's there. Otherwise, it was, you know, a little passageway that very often those little one morph ball wide passageways mean go in here with the morph ball. This is the first boss of the game. The speedrunners skip him because they do that mock ball, the thing that I did earlier to get the super missiles early. They just do that and they skip this guy because his reward is super missiles. So the only reason to, if you can do the mock ball, you never come here. Unless you're doing... Oops. That was a waste. You never come here unless you're doing 100%. And even then, there's another trick to skip and get his item anyway. So there's really 2 tricks to get super missiles early. Alright, I got the double shot. That makes up for missing the last one. I'm only going to hit him a handful of times because I have super missiles. Normally you're going to hit him with missiles until he stops moving. It's not exactly a hard boss. Just crouch, shoot continually just to knock these little things out. They drop missiles and they drop energy, and it's not really much of a boss fight. It's the first boss. It's not supposed to be. I mean, I guess unless you count the guy who was blocking off the bomb power-up. Oh, come on. So the advantage of wall jumping, which I'll get the how later, as you see there, like I don't have to jump back and forth across the room. I can just climb a single wall if I wanted to. If I was spinning, I could climb this thing right now. In fact, I will. You can get infinite vertical climbing just off of a wall. I don't even need the other wall. I can just loop back to the first wall. One wall you can just climb infinitely. So that's the super missile you're supposed to get. We just have extras, so the bosses are going to die slightly faster. I am a bit sloppy in my play. I usually get all the energy tanks, so I don't have to worry about blocking anything or dodging. So, this block was a super missile block. And we're back to where I said keep note of this area. The speedrunners and the randomizer players will usually do a trick here. So, if these blocks were still here, I could just jump and use the bomb to open it up and get this far. But this block right here is a super missile block. I would not be able to shoot that super missile block by just jumping and shooting because it is slightly off screen. So the gist of what they do is they go all the way over there to deload that whole area, and then that'll stay open because it wasn't quite far enough, and they line themselves up with this mushroomy thingy, and they just fire the missile through the hole. And because they haven't technically loaded all the way there, it means that they haven't loaded the line that the game says missile may not pass this mark, and they open up the missile when they're not supposed to, and they just roll through the hole. I've done it. It's not hard. It's just a little finicky getting the positioning. You don't need to do it. Just go kill the boss. That is not a trick that you need to worry about learning unless you just really want to. All it does is let you skip the boss, and that is not a hard boss. If you're going to learn one trick in this game, go learn the mock ball that lets you get those 4 extra items right at the beginning of the game. Here's another little hidden item. Yeah, if you're going to learn anything, go learn mock ball, because that will greatly increase your enjoyment. Because remember, in a randomizer, that's 5 items instead of 1. That's 5 things that could be an exciting anything. It could be your sword for Zelda. Do keep in mind that it is technically out of logic, so the game won't expect you to have those items. So if you go in there and you get something like the say you get a sword there, that was not intended to be your original sword. Your swords are progressive, so every time you find a sword, it upgrades the one you have, so you get regular sword, master sword, tempered sword. If you get them out of order, the game's not going to stop you. So just you can kind of use that as a clue. It's another reason that I like running vanilla logic with doing the tricks yourself. For Metroid, if I got the gravity suit there, I could reasonably assume that the speed booster is not anywhere that would require the gravity suit. So that kind of narrows down where I need to look for it. I kind of know where to expect it. So that block right there leads us up to another item. And this is an exciting item for vanilla. I love this item, and I don't like that it doesn't get much use later. The Spazer, which obviously stands for Space Laser. Now I have Combat Fork. It's just such a nice quality of life thing to have a wider attack. You get one by default later in the game, but it also turns off the Spazer. I don't know why they're not compatible with each other. It's weird that it's the only thing that doesn't work at the same time. So we have... Fine, we'll do what we're supposed to do. So, when you get to the fire area, you take damage as long as you're in a hot area with the wavy background. The game will not expect you to run through any hot areas. It's a common thing in pure Super Metroid randomizer. If you notice that you're getting a whole bunch of energy tanks and nothing else, that's because the game is expecting you to run through some of the shorter ones to get to the other side. It's not required at all in the Zelda/Metroid one. This is a great spot. There was an item we just got, there's an item we saw on the way, and an item in here. The high jump boots are a godsend, but you will almost never see them in randomizer. The game really likes to make you work without these things as long as possible. Because remember, it does not matter that now I can jump up this high. I mean, it would if you don't know how to wall jump, but that's the thing. One wall jump gets you up there. Wall jumping lets you skip needing the high jump boots for realistically the whole game. There's a handful of items and a handful of tricks that are way harder if you don't have them, like getting out of the bomb area. But there's only a couple that are bad without the high jump. And again, the combo randomizer will not make you do those. I still recommend figuring out the wall jump. It's not hard. If you've played basically any Mario game, any 3D Mario game, any 3D platformer at all, you'll understand how to do it. So, this leads to the first actual boss. You're supposed to just kind of jump up there with high jump boots. If you're feeling a little cheeky, you can actually make that jump without them. Just get a running start off of that ledge, and you can wall jump on just barely on that lip and flip yourself up. The timing is a little bit tight, but not bad. But remember, you're not going to need to do that. You know, if you're playing one of these combo randomizers and you get stuck and somebody's like, "Oh yeah, just flip your way into Kraid," no. You're supposed to just be able to jump up. If you don't have high jump boots and you can get in here anyway, either by doing that, or if you are even crazier, you can try for the infinite bomb jump, which I can't even get the first one to go. Come on. If you time it right, which I'm way out of practice, you can just bomb jump your way up here too. You don't need to do that, but it's something to keep in mind if you want to start upping your skills and start sequence breaking. You get in here and maybe sneak an item you weren't supposed to have yet. Far more common in races, where, you know, two people will play the exact same randomized game, but they're racing to see who can beat it fastest. They might do something like that to see if they can maybe edge out an advantage, right? So if I know I'm bad at mock ball, but I'm good at doing that wall jump, well, maybe I know that my opponent is planning on... Oh, I don't have the bombs. I forgot. I'm not used to not having extra items here. There's another item in there which I have to come back for later. Hopefully I remember. I'm so used to the randomizer that some of this stuff, I always get it in one pass. I never make a second trip through these areas. But vanilla, you're supposed to go back to every area to look for more items. So, these little infinitely respawning dudes, they are there so that you can heal. They are there specifically for you to sit there and farm extra energy and ammunition from them. There's also a save point up there, which I'm not going to bother with. I'm going to shoot this guy in the eye. That door, the weird eye door, is how you know you've reached one of the 4 main bosses. This is Kraid. He's on the box. He doesn't look like he's on the box unless you actually go look for him, but he's there. You can see that the game is lagging attempting to get that through. If you've got your super missiles, he's going to die really fast. I think it's like 3 hits or something dumb. Come on. Don't steal my missiles. Move your hand. As you can see, I'm not even really trying very hard. He's not exactly a threat if you don't panic. Especially if you have high jump, you can just jump straight back up here. You're supposed to shoot him in the eye, and that'll make him open his mouth. So I'm trying to shoot him with a regular shot so I can save my missiles. Yeah, just pew, 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 pew. Not a whole lot to him. The speedrun way to do it is if you can land 2 super missiles in his face before he goes up to full size, it skips the animation and he stays low. You hit him once more. It's very fast. Alright. We have an item. Vanilla, this is very astute. This is armor, for one. You take less damage. And it also stops you from taking damage in the superheated rooms in the volcano area. Yeah, just die. There are... I have to kill you? Fine. He chose the hard way. Really? Now you all die. There's an item over there. I think I need the power bomb or a trick I don't know to get. So we have to come back. Item in the roof. There's like maybe 1 room in the entire game that doesn't have something in it. So if you ever find a room like this that just has some enemies and it's a dead end, there's something up. Shoot all the walls, bomb the floors, there's usually something. The only one I can think of that's actually empty just has one of those infinitely spawning enemies in it, and I think it's basically a refill room. So it still technically has something in it. Fast forward the elevator. So now that we can get through hot rooms, there's a couple of... You're supposed to go this way. You're supposed to go through this door. For giggles, I'm going to go this way. That's the mock ball again. That's the exact same thing we did to get those other items for free. And for the exact same reason, to get under those pylons. If you have high jump, you just jump and put yourself in the hole there. Come on. Kill the thing so I can move on. put yourself in the hole, you can go steal yourself another item. Now, I know what's here, so I know that it's kind of fun to just come and grab this. You don't need to. Again, I'm showing off little tricks. Do you need that? No. It's just kind of fun. A fun incentive to learn mock ball and other minor easy tricks. The ice beam freezes enemies, unsurprisingly. So now you can get past... You can use enemies as platforms. That's basically the idea. And we're just going to bomb our way out. Oh no, I took a hit from that guy. So, because I know mock ball, I stole the ice beam ahead of time. But, you know, just like the super missiles, we did not steal them ridiculously ahead of time. Most of the tricks in this game only save you a very small amount of time, honestly. I got kind of carried away just killing the enemies. We are gonna go get the speed booster. That's what you needed for that. I guess I should do it the regular way. You shoot the floor, and you just go. And we go up here. We're gonna go get the speed booster next. It's literally the next thing. The speed booster is what normally lets you get under those pylons. That's the word I'm thinking of. Really? Fine. There is a missile tank. Really? There's a missile tank in the lava there. I have been known to spend way too long on randomizers, forcing myself to get that item, even when the game is really saying come back later. I'm like, no, I need it now. It doesn't really cost you much in the way of energy. Tip, this room, significantly easier if you go get Ice Beam first. Because you don't really have a great way of dealing with, like, the seahorses yet. And because I can freeze them, not only do they not hurt me, I can use them as platforms. Right on his head, and we move on. So, there's a reason to go get Ice Beam, but you don't need to. There is a save point right here. Every item in this game has an easy way to get it, if you use the correct item. Why this game is popular is there's a million ways of getting things you weren't supposed to get yet. So, for example, we can bomb this little bit of floor right here and work our way through this pipe system. Just drop some bombs to kill him. And this will take us out to this next door down here. And we go all the way around an area with literally 0 items. Come on. I know I can do this. Bomb. Really? There we go. You go all the way around, and then you can get to the item. There's also just an item sitting. Oops. Sitting right over here. Which you can see from over there, so that's the game giving you the hint that it's there. If it's a randomizer and it's rupees, I mean, you don't bother walking over here. If you stole the ice beam, because remember, we're supposed to get the ice beam next, like after. Get the speed booster, and then we go back and get the ice beam. We're not supposed to have it yet, but we can use the ice beam. Oops. And jump our way higher than we're supposed to. I didn't mean to kill that. I needed slightly more height. I got a little trigger happy. But see, even my screw-ups should give you heart. Look at that. Was that hard? No, I just had to not shoot the guy immediately. And now we can go in this door. How are we supposed to get there? There are those funny plus-shaped things up there. That's the grapple beam. You're supposed to go all the way down and around and then grapple your way across that gap. Well, that just takes time and I don't want to do it. But you can. I mean, that's the slow way to do it, is you come back with grapple beam or you come back with space jump, which basically lets you fly. Fine. But just, there's so many little hidden items. Here's an extra little section. Again, easier if you stole the ice beam. Actually, wouldn't. If you can't get the ice beam, don't come into this area early. All it gets you is a reserve tank. But in a randomizer, it could be anything. Even a reserve tank. And a cheeky little missile. Why is it there? I don't know. So, that's 3 items in this little section. 2 in there, and then the one in the room we were in over here. Item density is what you're looking for in a randomizer. You don't want to spend 10 minutes running for something that's only 1 item. You want to go for where the items are densely packed, so you get better items faster. So 3 items, great. That's why Mock Ball is so good. Mock Ball is a very easy, level 1 trick. First thing anybody should learn after the basic mechanics of the game. Gives you 4 extra items right in the first couple minutes of the game. You freeze the guy. You give yourself a nice wall jump right over the mountain here. We literally skip probably 1.5 to 2 minutes of just running through enemies. There's nothing but enemies down there. There's no items in the area we skip by doing this. We come back 1 room to an area you shouldn't be able to finish on your first pass anyway. So you shoot the gate, walk in here, and you get missile. And actually, if you shoot the gate like I did, you have to go over here. See those plus things again? You're supposed to have grapple beam. You're supposed to Indiana Jones swing your way across. Down here, spikes. Nothing but spikes. Unless you can wall jump. 1 wall jump. Not like a fancy trick. You just you jump off the spikes, you wall jump up, and now you have an upgraded beam again. Again, we're supposed to go get speed booster next, and then ice beam, and then we can go down to grapple. You can maybe skip ice beam and go straight to grapple, and then come back here to get wave beam. But why? It's like no effort to just come up here and get wave beam. And then, to get out, there's some of those spikes are actually crumbly. That's how you're not soft lock if you accidentally shut that door behind you and you don't realize you can wall jump up the edge. So yes, we have stolen ice beam, we've stolen wave beam with very little effort. You don't want to do any tricks? Perfectly fine. Come back here with grapple beam, swing your way across the top. I'm just showing you how to do it faster if you want to kind of push it a little bit, but yeah, normally that's grapple beam. Come with grapple beam or space jump. Whenever I say grapple beam, space jump is just infinitely better in all ways. But usually you get that later. You know, the item that basically lets you fly, yeah, just assume that if I'm doing a fancy jump to get something, if you can fly, just fly. Always fly. There's no reason to do it the long way if you can fly. So again, what I said about a room that doesn't seem to have anything in it, I don't know how you're supposed to know that one. That one's kind of a jerk. Because there's no way I would have found that naturally. That had to be like a case of punch everything, shoot every wall. Maybe you got lucky and you hit it on accident when you were aiming up at those guys. I'm gonna hold the run button to get over these crumble blocks. We're not gonna go through the door over here. We're gonna stop. We're gonna shoot up because there's another missile just randomly hidden in the ceiling. I've seen like the Book of Samaria for Zelda just hidden right there. Very easy to miss. Just running right by it. Because you're literally holding the run button. You literally run right by it. This is Speed Booster. When I hold down that run button now, after 3 or 4 seconds, we get to run even faster. We also kill any enemy we touch in this mode. Now we're supposed to be able to legitimately go get Ice Beam and go get those items behind that first mock ball trick I did. So we didn't really get them that early. But it is technically early. All we really did was save ourselves backtracking. Because I'm doing everything, right? You don't want to watch me sit around and backtrack. Can I go through here? Where's the power bomb? It's a power bomb. So we're now going to go fight. We're not going to go get the grapple beam, which is the thing we were supposed to get before getting wave beam. We're just going to take wave beam with us. Instead of going down there for wave beam, we're going to go this way for grapple beam. In a vanilla playthrough, you wouldn't be able to go that way. How do you do it vanilla? I've done it the cheaty way so many ways. It's honestly going to take me a second to figure out how you're supposed to do it. Speed Booster gets you through here, and it takes us back to... Oh, I know how. Okay. I'm trying to do things the vanilla way. That blue gate, the little blue icon, was on the left side. Which means you can only come from the left side to hit it. Wave Beam's whole purpose is you can shoot through the door. So I could have walked through that door. But if you're playing vanilla, you can't. So if you're playing fair, you go over there and get Speed Booster, and then the next thing you do is go get Ice Beam. Which brings you out here. You go back in that room I was just in, and you get your Ice Beam. And because we're doing things the vanilla way, this is going to take a little longer than normal. Just go get the wave beam, okay? It's literally a one wall jump, okay? One wall jump. Go get the wave beam. Go through that door I was at. But if you're being stubborn... It annoys me to do this. It honestly took me a minute to think about what the answer really was. This is the most backwards way to do this. This is way worse than just learning wall jump. There we go. Stay frozen. You go get the ice beam, right? So right now, wave beam is the only thing we have that we're not supposed to have. And we did not do the only thing that matters with it. You're supposed to take ice beam and use it to climb this area, jumping on the enemies as you go. And then you cross this room. Don't jump, don't fall in the flowers. They're very slow to get out of and they're very annoying. If you want to go fast, what you do is you jump and turn so that you get knocked backwards the way you want to go. Jump and hit the spikes while facing backwards and it throws you forward. There's a time save that you can do for free. You shoot down these blocks. You'll notice that yellow door, we can't open yellow doors. We are trapped unless we go down here. And with very little fanfare, we get the power bombs. No boss. Just, you had to explore the crap out of everything available to find that. And then if you test it out, once you get it, bonus item. Don't forget there's a second item in a lot of these little areas. So, power bomb opens up more stuff. Now we can go and officially go get the grapple beam, which then gets us the wave beam. Wave beam hasn't done us any good, by the way. All it does right now is it kind of increase my damage so I don't have to shoot these things as many times. You can continue going up. And I actually will for a moment. Really? Now you die. You can go up there and that leads to the next area, but you're gonna need grapple beam. So you see that one flower that doesn't have a little clompy guy in it? We're going to go in that flower. And we get another power bomb. And then we carefully make our way back across. You can go up and you end up basically back at the start of the game, back at the ship. But then you have to go all the way back down here anyway, because you need grapple beam next. Ugh. I didn't quite hit the spike to get my launch. All of you out of my way. Well, that didn't do anything. Send me the way I want to go. Well, that worked way better the first time I tried to do it. Whatever. Just jump. If you do short hops, you make it across most of those gaps just fine. Now we're going to go all the way back to where we were. All the way back. Don't be tempted by that yellow door yet. Don't be tempted by that yellow door. You need grapple beam to get through there. I will grab it on our way up. but you need grapple beam to get through there. Officially. Or space jump. Come back with space jump. It's unfortunate that it is technically, it only requires grapple beam. Because you might only have grapple beam and they'll make you go through there. I don't like that room. Yoink. Now that we have power bombs, I'm also going to do one quick detour. You might remember I mentioned there was one item I couldn't get when we were over here in Kraid. I'm going to grab it so I don't forget, because I almost never have to make 2 trips. It's not impossible to get without power bombs, I think. It's just, I don't know how to get it without power bombs. We go boom. If you jump and then turn into ball in midair, you can make it in there. Or you can bomb jump, or you can wait till you get spring ball that lets you jump while you are a ball. But all of those are way later in the game. Or harder. Just jump and turn into a ball. So, Kraid is a very small area. Kraid is done. Fast forward the elevator. So, in order to get the official way to the other side of that door to get the grapple beam, you power bomb your way underneath where you got ice beam. That means you had to get ice beam, go all the way to the top of that tower, get the power bomb, come all the way back down, remember this room, and power bomb your way down. And we're going to work our way backwards to where that other door was. Or you could just do the one wall jump and get wave beam. And just go in the back door and then come back here later when you already have power bombs. When you go through this door, hold backwards. So I'm going to push left to go through the door, and then I'm going to hold right. There's an item on the opposite wall. It is a pain in the butt to get. If you're lucky like that, that's the easiest I've ever got it. Freeze an enemy, jump to grab the item. If you're not lucky, you have to get up there and shoot the item and then wall jump up here and hit it before it covers itself back up. If you're playing randomizer, shoot the item from the doorway to see if you need to bother with it. If you don't need to bother with it, do not get it. Speed booster gets us through here, and now we are legitimately on the other side. If I go, look at the map. We were... There's no I. Does my mouse show up? We were right here is where that door I decided to turn around at was. That I could have wave beamed and walked through. We would have went down a tube and across, and we would be literally right here. Foop. Very easy. Just get the wall jump. Do the wall jump, steal wave beam. Go straight here. It's not worth climbing the tower and then coming back, and then we have to then climb that tower again. I was facing the wrong way. I'm gonna go save the game. Mostly as an excuse to kill those guys twice. There's very little reason not to steal the wave beam. I'm pretty sure that I stole the wave beam when I was little playing this game. I'm pretty sure I figured it out, like, on my own. This is Crocomire. You shoot him in the mouth, and he backs up. You shoot him in the mouth enough, you win. Super missile, he goes farther. He gets really awkward if you run out of super missiles. Try not to run out of super missiles. It's not usually a problem in randomizer because you have an unusual amount of ammunition. Oops, overshot. In randomizer, you fight the bosses out of order. So what that means is you very often will come into Crocomire with like 30 super missiles and you can just spam them. Whereas I came in here normally and I'm spamming my regular missiles and it's not nearly sending him as far as I'd like. Especially because my timing's off. Because I'm just spamming. I'm not actually like aiming or thinking about it. I'm just aiming, or I'm just jumping and shooting the missiles. And eventually they'll land in his mouth at the right time. That should be the last one. Really? He falls in the acid. See that up there? More grapple beam. You know what we're not going to use? Grapple beam. We're just going to wall jump once and steal another item early. Not a whole lot early, but early enough. Now we have to come to this wall of spikes and wait for the cutscene to play out in fast forward. And that's the end of that mini boss. Throw yourself over here. Now we can go down and get grapple beam. Game doesn't really mention this, but those green ones, you can grapple them. You're supposed to grapple that guy, and that gets you up here. I just jumped, but you can grapple that guy and swing across. So you're supposed to do that on your way out of this area. Because I can. I just jumped. I jump on that little platform thingy that drops, holding the run button to get a little more sideways momentum, and I just jumped and wall jumped on the lip. It's wider than it looks. Or you can just use the grapple beam. Swing across. You're supposed to go down. I just want to point this out. So this is a green gate. You have to super missile that button. You have to hit the green part with the super missile, and it'll open. You can, if you have the right timing, crouch, like be a step away, crouch, jump up and shoot, and you can, because Samus's arm technically sticks slightly out through the wall, I'm going to give it one try. You do that, but you do it at the right timing, it'll open up the gate from the other side, and you can skip doing all the bottom stuff. It's only helpful if you are sequence breaking. So if you are really trying to cheat, or you're playing on a harder difficulty mode, that might be how you're supposed to get into that area. I believe that's how you get the item down there if you do not have Speed Booster. Which we will show in a moment what the right way is. This is just a little side path for a missile. It's easy to forget if you are purposefully skipping stuff. Like, you go the back way in, you grab the item, you leave. You might forget that there's a another little missile tank over here. Alright, so what you're supposed to do is just jump while speed boostering, and it takes you up here. You walk through the door. And now you have grapple beam. You climb up, you climb across, you open that green gate I showed you, and you leave. There is an item on the other side of that room. And you're supposed to come up here and swing and... Oh, I actually got him. Oh. Oh, missed the last one. I thought I was going to actually get it. You're supposed to swing your way across all those guys. Significantly easier is our first shine spark. So if we do that run thing and I push down, Samus starts blinking. I'm gonna do it again. Running and push down. She's blinking. If I jump while she's blinking, I will just keep going straight up. And so if I get... That was slightly too far. You do take damage as you do it, so don't do it, like, don't screw up too many times. That is significantly easier than trying to get the 4 consecutive grapples. Just rocket your way up. That is one of the 2 hidden techniques in the game. Just run, push down, and now you can jump. You can also jump diagonally using the shoulder buttons to point diagonal and then jump, and you go whoosh, diagonal. It's used a lot more in future games. It's almost exclusively used to break stuff in this game. The wall jump. If I spin into a wall and I turn the other way, you see that little animation of Samus kind of pushing against the wall as she turns around? If I... Like, I'm not even pushing jump a second time. I'm just holding right, and then I push left to go the other way, and she just does that little animation. Push jump during that animation. When you're up against the wall. And you jump again. There's no limit. And because I have high jump and she falls kind of slowly, you can just jump, move yourself back to the wall, and just do it over and over again. And you can basically fly if you have a vertical wall. Way easier than doing the little grapple hook tutorial challenge to come back out at that green gate. There's no items after grapple beam in there. Just go backwards. Save yourself the effort. Wall jumps are not hard, and there's no penalty for not doing it right the first time. I'm going to refill my my health here a little bit because I've been a little too sloppy. Just crouch at one of these infinite spawn thingies and just spam the shoot button. These ones are especially nice because there's actually 5 enemies that spawn at once. If I let them spawn, they spread out. Sorry, I dodged habitually. See, there's 5 of them. Or I can just kill them all and I get 5 drops at a time. I think this is a save point right here, too. A lot of the doors I'm skipping are going to be save rooms, map rooms, things like that. I'm mostly only shooting for items. So at this point, you're supposed to go back through that gate the wave gate the blue was on the wrong side. You go back to Bubble Mountain, that green area with the green bubble looking thing that's called Bubble Mountain by the community, and you go get wave beam because now you have grapple beam and you can technically cross that gap. You can also get that energy tank that I just yeeted myself into the acid to get. I'm not going to go back that way because we've already cleared that area. So instead, I'm going to get this item, which is also a one-way... It's a way you could go. If you didn't realize you could go just straight over to grapple beam, or wave beam, You can come over here and grapple this. And there is another missile. You can actually see what this item is. We're at the very bottom of the first room we've been in this area. We came through here a bunch of times already. This is the main first area of this of Norfire. This is the first area. So there's our elevator right there. We came down, I stole Ice Beam, and then we went that way. We're just at the bottom of that room. Yeah, high jump. High jump was right there. That was high jump. You can come down here in the randomizer and just look at this item. The little pedestal is still there. This is where that missile tank was. So you can just go peek and see if that's an item you want to even bother getting. And if it's not anything you want, don't bother with that room. Go an easier way. I honestly don't even know what's in this door. I'm gonna guess it's like a map room. So this is a map room. It downloads a map, and now the blue areas are areas that I have not been in. So this is just because I didn't fall in the pit. This we skipped. This is grapple beam right here, and we turned around and went back, and then wall jumped up this shaft. All of this extra little like grapple beam tutorial thing that you're supposed to do, skip it. Just wall jump back up this way. There are no items in any of this blue area either, because this leads down into what they call lower Norfire, and then there's items you can get, but this is literally Ridley right here. This is the last of the 4 main bosses you have to beat before you can end the game. So there's I could force my way in here. It's not worth it. It's not worth it even if you're playing hard mode. Do everything else first. It's just not worth it. You're supposed to go there last. So we're going to go there last. We're going to fast forward the elevator. Done. Now I have to climb back up again. Bum, 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 bum. Really? Pixel off. I play pretty sloppy. You don't have to be perfect at this game. Shoot the things that look like they hurt you. Jump over spikes. A lot of it's pretty simple. It's supposed to feel like a maze. You're supposed to feel like you're lost. That's the design of the game. And you're supposed to feel good when you find something, because it's like a treasure hunt. So this yellow door I skipped earlier, this whole room is based around grapple beam. If you kill these little firefly things, the room goes dark. Because I have ice beam, I can freeze them instead of killing them. If you have grapple beam, you just grapple your way across by staying as high as you can. And you get what is both the most useful and useless item in the game. If you are new to the game, this is a godsend. This is the X-ray scope. This lets you see all but one secret item in the game. You hold down the run button, and I can see, oh, there's a bombable block there, and there's an empty passage down here, and then, oh, okay, I see. Right, so now you know, bomb that, and you can go through here. Another bomb. Or you can just jump. You can actually just unmorph and jump. And that goes for all but one secret area in the game. The one I'm thinking of that's an exception annoys the shit out of me. It's got to have been an oversight that the X-ray visor doesn't work on it. There are a few ways of getting through that room without grapple beam, but they are all not worth it, and they will never be required in the combo run. Is it worth turning around? If you are playing vanilla, or if you just want to get items without having to fight another boss right now, because we're kind of pointed at another boss, you can go backwards and pick up some items that we did not technically have the items for yet. Wave Beam lets us open this from the other side, and you are supposed to have Wave Beam now. We actually have no items that we aren't supposed to have other than a little bit more ammunition than normal. You know, I have 5 more super missiles and like maybe 15 to 20 more bombs that I'm supposed to have. So, down here is another item. This one needs speed booster. And needs, like actually needs speed booster. You can't do it without it. Because they are marked with the speed booster. You legitimately have to have speed booster. You're also supposed to have gravity suit. Notice how I really can't get any speed when I'm running through the water? You're supposed to come here with gravity suit. I'm going to show you how to do it without gravity suit. But you just come back here with gravity suit, run straight, get the item. If you don't have it, you can do this. Get up top by getting a running, as good of a running start as you can, and jump into that wall, just like I did. Get whatever speed you can get, and then just wall jump off of the thing, and you can get up here. We are now going to do a short charge. If I just hold the run button, I would complete my charge up about right here, which is obviously not good. That's in midair. I failed. Samus only actually, if you watch her little run animation, the run to get the super jump or the super speed, it needs to count 4 times that her arm hits a certain frame of her animation. Like, the game's not actually counting, oh, did you run for 5 seconds? It's no, did the animation loop to that frame 4 times? So what you can do for an easy short charge, just don't push the run button right away. Wait half a second. That's it. Because it moves the time it takes her to... Yeah, so she starts like this and ends like this and then triggers, point number 1. Because you started started moving without running, you covered way less distance, and then this just exponentially the speed takes. Wait half a bit, then push run, and you can push down right when you get to the edge here and you get your blinks. Push down, fall down, hit the jump button and hit left, and you'll do a spark through, which ignores the water. So you can come get this item without needing gravity suit. in one of the randomizers, that actually was where my gravity suit was. I had to do that trick to get gravity suit. But that was on a harder difficulty. That was not on the deep, you know, they call it easy. I call it standard, you know. The people who do these a lot, they need a little more challenge. They need the items put in areas that they can get them, but they're harder to get. Again, I prefer things to be where they're supposed to be. So you can steal items early if you want to. So another item that we're going to go steal. Well, not steal. This one was something a lot of people steal. Very, very commonly, they will steal this item. So, way up top here, there's a grapple block right here. You're supposed to grapple onto it, swing onto the top, shoot that gate open, and jump through. And then the item's on the other side. If you don't have wave beam, so obviously if you wall jump you can get up there very easy, but you don't have wave beam to open up the gate from this side. You will see a lot of the speedrunners come stand way up on here, right up against the wall. They will jump and they will fire off a... Holy shit, did I do it on accident? They will shoot a super missile, because a super missile has a little bit of an AoE effect, and they're trying to shoot it right underneath that block is what they're aiming for. And if you do it... Oh, it was open, so I closed it on accident. If you do it, it'll sail just past there, and the impact, the AoE, will trigger that door. I don't have to worry about it because I have wave beam. It's not super hard, but it's a little bit precise. I usually don't bother doing it, but you'll see people do it a lot. If you're backtracking vanilla, if you don't climb all the way up to the tower to go straight to the boss, and you backtrack this way instead, you can just use your wave beam. Now you have another energy tank. In a randomizer, backtrack. Now you've got whatever that item is. I gotta kill these again. Alright, there's one more item here. And it's another grapple beam item that you can ignore by wall jumping. I have the grapple beam, and you will too. You could grapple across this gap to get over here. You can wall jump to come get this missile tank the first time you're here. Like, I have high jump right now, right? So I can just kind of high jump, and we can get up there. If I go turn off high jump, you can still do it. You just have to jump an extra time. It's not hard. But it's only a missile tank. So if you want more ammunition, huzzah! Now if you've got power bombs, you can come in here, and this is the one that I mentioned was bullshit. So, all secrets in the game, except this one, are revealed. With X-ray. Oh, son of a bitch. Well, I guess I can't complain about that one anymore. Still, it shows a gap. It does not show... Like, I'm not convinced. But fine. You win this round, game. I still don't like it. You super missile the ground, you get another item. Usually if you need a power bomb to get into the item, it's a power bomb. That's how they stop you from getting power bombs early. Anyway, so if we are backtracking through the vanilla game, there is one more section to backtrack through. I think I went too high. No, this is it. You can do this. Damn it. I was trying not to do that. That's a speed trap. This is where the game is trying to teach you how to do that super jump. You meet this ostrich over here, and he goes running. You can't hurt him. If you follow him by running, because he's too fast otherwise, he crouches and then he jumps. That's how the game is intending to teach you how to do that super jump. Because otherwise you can't get out. Like, they are legitimately run blocks. So the other time the game is trying to teach you something is right here. If you bomb the floor there, you can see that there's a power bomb block, which you don't know what to do with yet. In a randomizer, you are almost always going to have power bombs the very first time you walk past there. So it's very easy to just come here immediately. I have to backtrack to get here. Now, there's a hole in the floor right there. It is 3 blocks thick, starting 4 blocks from the energy tank. So, either you have to know that, or you have to use the visor and look at it. But there's a hole there. Get the item, and an item. There's one more item we're going to grab. So this area is very easy, and it has 3 items, so most people are going to come here. I'm going to fall in that hole on purpose. This is the most devious save point in the game. This is the whole reason I owned this game as a kid. One of my friends in middle school got stuck here because he saved his game right there and couldn't figure out how to get through the rest of this area. Like, he never figured it out. He gave me the game in exchange for one of my other games. We just traded. Because I wanted to experience this game because Smash Brothers 64 had come out. And I had never played a Metroid game. He's like, oh, I have one, but it's hard. I never beat it. I got stuck. Area of no return and a save point, and I could just never get out. Well, his problem was that the game was trying to teach him how to wall jump. You get these Edacoons, that's what they're called. They spin jump into the wall and go boing, 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 and you're supposed to mimic them. And if you mimic them, you learn to wall jump and you can get out of the area. But if you can't wall jump, you're stuck there forever. Because you saved your game. And one of them will even yeet himself into that hole to remind you there's a hole there to go explore. But that was 3 very quick items. And now we head back the way we came. I do believe that that is the end of... I believe that's the end of this entire map. So unless I'm mistaken... I mean, there's the item I'm going to get on my way. There's an item right here I'm getting on my way that I'm walking towards right now. Yeah, I don't think I've missed anything. So if you're following along with your vanilla run, even if you skip doing my skips, you could be right here. You could go and get the items out of that Edacoon thing just like I did, but we're going to go back this way. You could climb truly back the way you went, all the way back up to the ship, and it's not really all that far. But we're going to go this other way into a secret way back to the ship. I don't know why I moved. So there's this lip right here that one quick little wall jump right there, or freeze the enemy down there. That's probably the easier way to do it. Just, oh, I have to pick that energy up. Okay, so when he spawns, freeze him. Now you can jump up here. That's easier. Beat these guys up. Watch out because they do a lot of damage. And we're going to powerbomb this wall. We get a powerbomb. More interestingly, we're going to powerbomb this wall. We're back to where we got the morph ball. Couple more items we can go grab. I do believe that possibly technically we're not supposed to do this yet. There's not really anything stopping us other than a little bit of water. Jump up and land one square over to open up that block. And then you can double jump your way up here and drop another power bomb, or do a super jump. You can super jump and take yourself straight up there. Either way. Don't know why you wiggled. You get up here. If you have the gravity suit, like if you're cleaning up your items later, we're going to go get the gravity suit more or less next. But you can do this on your way there instead of having to backtrack. If you have the gravity suit, just go. If you don't have the gravity suit, get a running jump into this room. Trust me. Running jump sends you on to... Ah, crap. I'll show you after I'm on it. An invisible platform. And there's that water there is going to make it so you can't jump without the gravity suit if you're already in the room, but you can just jump diagonally from the previous room and land up here. I've never missed that jump before. I think I just jumped too early. Anyway, there we go, run through. So that's another example of a trick that technically you need the gravity suit. But it's very easy to just jump through the previous room. Second item here too. 2 items and we're getting it basically on our way instead of having to backtrack. It's a little trickier over here. If you do it right, you can just jump and get back out the door all in one motion. If you have high jump, you can just jump out the door. It's not a big deal. If you came in there without high jump, which happens sometimes in randomizer, you can just exit out the side there. Technically, Samus, when you jump, if you push down, her hitbox is a little tiny bit taller because she tucks her feet in. So you can kind of jump up against the doorway and push down, and she'll just barely hook her way back onto the doorway. It might take a few tries. It kind of sucks. Or get yourself as much of a running jump as you can, running start as you can. Wall jump off of the little bit of wall you have there and through the doorway. If you don't have high jump, you probably shouldn't be in there outside of a what they call normal or harder randomizer anyway. But just know, yes, you can get out of there even without gravity, without high jump. If you have high jump, you just literally push the button and you go, tee-hee, I'm out. So now, Gonna get the last 2 items on this particular path. This is in the original game. This is where you fought Mother Brain in Metroid 1. If you bomb your way underneath, there is another missile tank. And then this room. I hate climbing this room. However, there is a sneaky... This was the last item I ever got in this game. I never found this. This was one of those I had to look up on the internet, watch a speed run, 100% run, going, what the hell is going on? You're supposed... This is basically the last item in the game. Because you're supposed to jump your way up here. You're supposed to have plasma beams, so you crouch and freeze all 4 of those guys at once. But if you just freeze them quickly and just run over them, it doesn't matter that you don't have plasma beam. It's kind of soft required. And then you can grapple your way across. Just... If I don't even know if the logic requires plasma beam there, but technically, game designer's intention is you're supposed to need plasma beam to get through in there, but it's very not needed to get through there. And now we're back at the beginning of the game, back in Crateria. We are going to now get even more items. Come on. Why are we getting the items now? Because I can, and because I don't really want to get the items when I already have like everything else. Because it's not very helpful for me to show you, oh, this is how you get this item. You use space jump and fly to it. The end. It's not helpful. Yes, save the game, please. Plus, the next boss, Vanilla, is kind of hard. Like, he was not an easy boss for me to beat Vanilla. So the more energy tanks and ammunition you have before you get there, the easier he is. There's 2 secret items, or 2 secret paths here. So we're going to hit the diagonal button and super jump way up here into the corner, because this is a big room. We're now way over in the corner. And there is a room with an item in it. This room also has a whole bunch of enemies hiding in the floor. So you can just kind of shoot diagonally down with your wave beam and kill them before they can even pop up to come get you. And get yourself a power bomb. It doesn't even really cost you anything, because whatever damage you take, you can just go right back and save at the ship. And it refills you. So you can get really sloppy with that one. But that is the other one. So you can start from there like I did, running jump, somersault, and it'll take you straight to that spot. No wall jumps required. You can also just wall jump your way up there. With the high jump boots, it's trivial. You can rocket jump your way diagonal, trivial. Without high jump and without speed booster, pain in the ass, but still technically possible. Huge pain in the ass. Do not recommend. I'm going to take advantage of having 1.5 million power bombs. Oops. Didn't mean to turn off the power bombs. This is called the gauntlet because there's a lot of acid, a lot of enemies. The enemies can grab you and hold you in the acid. It's kind of bad. But the worst part is that there's 3 items. We got the first one, but the other 2 are quite tricky. Like, one of them is easy. The other one is also easy, but they're tricky at the same time. And by same time, I mean literally if you get them at the same time. There are crumble blocks right here. If you crumble on one side, you get 1 item, and you get 1 item by crumbling on the other side. The only way to get both in one trip is to land Samus exactly on this line separating these 2 bricks, and she'll crumble block all of them down the middle. And if you manage it, which I'm going to try, you can get both in one trip. All right. Got 1. It ain't over yet. I have to get back across without screwing up. There we go. That's how you get both of them without having to go all the way back around to grab the other one. If you are concerned about not wanting to have to do that twice and you have power bombs, we came through here earlier. You'll recognize it as I walk out. You can power bomb and go in backwards. You can't get the items, but it's pretty easy to... Fine, we'll go on the right side. Just jump back and forth, and you can get all the way to here and see what the 2 items are. So you know what 2 of the 3 gauntlet items are without having to run the gauntlet. So you know ahead of time, if you're concerned about it, you can just come here and know, okay, I need to hug left or right before you even get there. So you don't have to make that call while you're there. And we'll just run our way back up to the ship. And we are heavily over prepared for this next boss. Not as much as I would like to be. In a randomizer, you might have a lot. Oh, come on. Fast forward eject. Fine. I accidentally hit over, so it didn't save. Do I need to save? Probably not. But if I don't save, I'm going to screw up. If you have a really hard time getting into those 2 rooms, you can, in the corners here, you can just come back with space jump and just fly up there. I believe those were intended for space jump in a... You're probably gonna be playing with space jump and be like, man, there's so much space in this room. Look at all the things I can do. Alright, this... If you remember when we had to freeze the enemies in that red tower to climb up to go and get power bombs and go back down and then climb up, and then we started backtracking. If you don't backtrack, this is where that tower leads. We go up to the elevator at the top of the room. It takes us right here. So we are now caught up to where we would be if we did not go back for the items. So if you're doing a vanilla Super Metroid run, but you're not doing 100%, you might have just come straight here. You pop up, you power bomb through here, and you then grapple beam, and then you grapple beam again to get to the door. I mean, that's it. You just grapple beam again, you get to the door. If you, A, hate the grapple beam like I do, or B, don't have grapple beam because you're trying to sequence break, do a short charge. Remember? Start running and then push run button, not hold run first. Run. Now I'm holding run. I'm going to jump over here, open the door, and do... I didn't hit sideways fast enough, but I'm going to dash through... I hit run instead of jump. I'm basically going to fly across. The hard part... So, like, if I just run, you don't have enough room. You just barely start the animation, which is not enough time to duck. So you just run a little bit first. Sure, now you do it. And down. People better at this than me know better than... So I'm hitting the down button to crouch a little late, is the problem. Okay. I should just grapple across, but I want to show that this is possible. It's not as hard as I'm making it look. And down. And down. I forgot to open the door, so that took my half second I had away. It is... There we go. So, first try. You don't have to grapple across. So if you don't have grapple, congratulations, you're in this area and you don't have grapple. You can do a very similar thing to fly across this entire room. You can grapple very slowly, or you can just yeet yourself over all these gaps. Like, watch out for that guy, but yeah. Yeet. The trick to this room, actually, I will show you the trick to this room. If you don't have grapple beam, or you're having trouble getting the swinging mechanics to work, or you just don't want to use grapple beam, or you're sequence breaking, because you could do this with just, like, literally, you have to be able to open the door, which I think was a powerbomb door. But if all you have is speed booster, you can get through this. That was not what I meant to turn off. Turn on speed booster, but off high jump boots. You jump just short enough you don't bonk. As I promptly bonk. You can make all of these jumps. Come on. We must show it off. Hit that guy with a super missile and I think he dies. So that you don't bonk on him. Or time it better than what I'm doing. But you can just jump. You don't have to grapple. It is completely possible to just jump your way across. There we go. Now he's dead, and I can jump across. No grapple beam required. Just easier if you turn off the high jump boots. which is weird. If you have him, turn him back on and jump over the guy would probably be the smarter way to do it rather than try to kill him and make the jump. That's what makes Super Metroid so great, though. There's like 10 ways to do everything. So you get to the wrecked ship. This is like a haunted spaceship. Hey, screw you. It's like the worst possible place for him to spawn. And we're gonna go fight the boss. The reason I don't really like the speed run of this game is because you fight this guy really, really early. And it's kind of hard. Because I'm not that good at fighting him. Like, the speedrunners obviously have superpowers. They can make this guy do exactly what they want him to do. And he ends up dying super fast. Oops, that was not what I meant to do. You can only hit him when he has his eye open. If you hit him with a super missile, he gets angry. If you have high jump, you can actually jump over his little wave thing. But smarter is you hold the charge, and you can jump through it and take no damage. I was just being really bad at it, but I'll do it better this time. Just to show you I don't take damage. Kill those guys to get him out of the way. Just spamming the shoot button until his eye comes up. There. He's gonna go into rage mode. He's gonna show up. I'm at 38 energy, right? By holding down shoot and jumping, as long as I'm somersaulting, his little fire can't do damage to me. So, if you want to kill him in as few hits as possible, you use the super missiles. And then just... Come on. Usually, he shows up as vulnerable right away if you've missed that first window. So, there he is. Again, we're going to charge, and we're just going to jump. We're just going to jump through his little fire waves. We take no damage. We are under no threat. Comes at very regular intervals. There's nothing to it. You can just jump through it. Alright, now I gotta wait for him to show up again. And I am reasonably certain that this fourth hit is gonna be... Really? I thought that was gonna be it. He's only got one hit left. It must be 5. Oh, and I'm not timing my jumps right. You see the fire, you jump. You see the fire, you jump. You see the fire, you jump. Like I said, I'm pretty sloppy when it comes to actual execution. So I like to go get as many items as I can first, so I can afford to just take all these hits. Come on, open your eye. Oh. I shot at the right time, and he had his little fire guy in the way. There we go. 5 hits. 5 super missiles. He's actually triple vulnerable to super missiles. He takes 3 times as much damage from them, but then he does his little rage thing. The speedrunners will just use regular missiles, and they'll use way more of them, but because they can manipulate him to go where they want, he ends up running straight into the missiles instead of dodging like he does to me. I have not practiced that fight at all. It sucks. Unless you're good at it. And then it looks amazing. It looks trivial when you're good at it. So, that was the boss of this area. You fight the boss first. There are now a decent number of items for us to pick up. First, a pretty obvious super missile. Walk in, take it, walk out. There's then a not as obvious missile. Boing. Boing. You can't kill these guys, but you can... Hey, get off me. You can push them around. So knock him off, and then jump in the second one? Second one. Get another missile. In the official tournament version of the Super Metroid randomizer, they move one of the key item locations to that spot. Because otherwise there's not really very much in this area, and there's a little too much in the other area they took it out of. It was high jump. You know, where you go high jump, and we got that, we got an energy tank, and we got high jump. They moved the energy tank as a key item that they move. And I forgot to go and get this item when I came through. You can actually go and get this one before you beat the boss. And all of the moving platforms and spikes are turned off. I forgot. Do I round back? We're doing things the intended way. Save point. Doing things the intended way. So, there's only a few more items in Wrecked Ship. We're now going towards one of my least favorite rooms of the game. Mostly, I mean, unless I have items early. There's just a lot of enemies in this room. They do a lot of damage. And you have to kill all of them to open the doors. And there's those little electric things which I'm too lazy to dodge. Just have to kill everything. And they're slightly tankier than I would like. Alright. I don't know if opening the doors actually flags them as having been opened, but it's my hope. Shoot these guys and force them backwards into the little pits. And after the third one, there's an item. Now we can go the other direction. Huzzah. Wrecked Ship is very item dense for how small it is. It's just that each of the items are, or all the enemies are a little stronger than you really would want to deal with at the point of the game that you cheat your way through. Hey, that door was blue, so I think I can just run past everything because I opened the door already. Yeah. Alright, 2 items here. One, way up high. See that little green guy? You're supposed to ride him like platforms and go one after the other all the way to the top to get the item. Or, see, there's the item. See, this one right here, do a super jump right next to that one and just shoot diagonal as you come down. Skip that entire sequence. But you could just ride the platforms all the way up. There is then a missile tank right here, hidden in this little morph ball maze section. And then the way you're actually supposed to go is right here. How long is this going to take to fill me up some energy? Way too long. Don't feel like you can't kill the enemies. I run past them because I'm in a hurry. You can just kill everything as you go. You don't have to be sloppy like me. They call this the bowling alley. You're supposed to grapple beam your way across. You will almost never see people do this, because they're just spikes and I can turn backwards and bounce through the spikes, and it's faster than using the grapple beam, if you have enough health. They call it the bowling alley because the statue picks you up. And it looks like it's trying to bowl. And it walks you back through the spikes through a secret passage. I used to fast forward so we didn't have to watch. More of these guys. And an item. There's actually another item up there. For some reason, you can blow up that statue. Get a running start, and launch yourself up here, and you have another item. Completely intended. We haven't skipped anything. If you know where the items are, you can skip a lot of backtracking later. We have almost every key item in the game at this point. We're kind of at the point of the game that you full clear as you go, because there is not an item you have to get. Now we have gravity suit. All of the stuff that I did to avoid, like, water, we are now fully capable of doing. We can now run through water easy. Which means I'm going to go get the one remaining item. There's literally one item left in all of Wrecked Ship. So, I thought about doing this. This area is called Sponge Bath. Because there's water here, you're not intended to be able to jump up and get out of here. Right? You're supposed to get gravity suit and then just jump out. There are 5 different ways of getting through here without gravity suit if you get stuck and you just want that item for some reason. The one that annoys me the most, and we'll see if I get it on like the first try. You just run. You just run, and you wall jump up. I can't tell you how long I spent trying to get up there without gravity suit. I didn't realize that you could just get a running start, yeet yourself up there, wall jump up. Done. Done. First try. The only reason that I couldn't do it before is I didn't know you could. Now you know you can if you want to. Room of Spiky Death. And I'm just going to kind of throw myself through the room because I have Gravity Suit. Gravity Suit gives you another damage reduction. So I'm going to be even more sloppy when it comes to taking damage. Because I really don't care if I take damage. Way up here. One more item, and then we can leave. You're supposed to, again, grapple, and then if you have Gravity Suit, you can wait for them to go down a little bit and grapple your way to this energy tank. You can absolutely do it without Gravity Suit, getting a little bit of a running jump, and then just jumping a little sooner. You can absolutely do it without Grappling Hook. You can even do it with just Gravity Suit if you just run over here and wall jump up from the water. If you have Gravity Suit, that's the easiest way to do it. It is a pain in the butt if you don't have Gravity Suit and you're not using save states. Like, I haven't used any save states on this one. I haven't even died, now that I think about it. That way leads to the next area. You can go that way. The game honestly intends for you to go that way. That's the front door to the next area. There's nothing in it. I'm not even being facetious. There's literally nothing there. This item is the only reason to even come over here. That energy tank I got, you get that energy tank, you turn around, you go back the way you came. Because you're going to spend a whole bunch of time working your way through that area. And you're going to end up the same place we're going to go, but we're going to go to the back door. Which is still intended. How is it intended you go to the back door? If you go the front door, the game is actually teasing you. You go through all of these rooms in this water area, and at the very end of it, it spits you out without any progress. There's 0 items, and there's 0 reason to be there. Plus, if we go this way, we pick up this random missile that was in the water on our way. You can get that before Gravity Suit. It's just easier without it. If you have Spring Ball so that you can jump in water, you can just get it. Even without gravity. Gravity Suit means I don't have to do any tricks here. I can just... You can actually just bomb this last one here and jump out. You don't even have to wall jump over the thing. Or grapple beam. But what we're going to do is go backwards down that red tower that we've been up and down a couple times already. Hooray for fast forward for elevators. We've been here already. If you freeze enemies coming out of a infinite spawn thing, they don't count as dead, so they don't spawn another one. So we're back to the red tower. Making our way back down. And I was not kidding when I said there's no reason to go the other way. Like, seriously? You go through all of these water rooms. It's a little bit of a maze. It's not obvious which way you go. There's all of these, like, it looks like there's ways that you're supposed to go, but then there's the doors are locked, and it's not obvious where you're supposed to be. And at the very end of it, it spits you out right here. You go through that green door. You're like, yeah, I'm making progress. There's a green door, and you keep running this way. You're like, ooh, it's about to go down. Oh, I've been here before. Crate is right over there, right? It just took you back to where you've already been. Because you're intended to come break this tube. And now you're in the water area proper. This is where you need to be for the water area. So you might as well just come to this straight away instead of doing all that other area for no good reason. Alright. Because we're getting all the items, I don't like this item. Just because it's a little tedious to try over and over again. It's not hard, it's just you have to get the timing right. We're going to run. We're going to run. I'm holding down. Now I gotta do that all again. Get those crabs out of my way. We have to do a super jump to get this item. But we have to charge the super jump from this room. And I forgot to open the door again. So we go. And then we do it basically by this weed. This is the right weed, but I was a step too far away. And every time you want to retry, it costs you a super missile to open the door. Speaking of opening the door. So we crouch and then immediately keep going, run over here, jump. Oh, come on. I was afraid I was going to hit the stupid crab and get knocked back. Open door. Are you kidding me? See, this is why I don't like this item. It's so obnoxiously precise. I mean, I mean precise, like you just have to stand square on that weed and you'll get it every time. But you're in a hurry, right? There we go. Straight up, get the missile. But you're in a hurry because you've only got a couple seconds before your thing expires. And you have to reset the area to get your running start every single time you want to try. I just don't like it. So, come on. A lot of the areas in this section you can do in basically any order. There's a hidden door right here. You can come back with space jump and get this. You can come you can go up and around to get here, but this is where the room is. You can ride Mama Turtle. There's an energy tank up there. You're supposed to either space jump or land on it using grapple beam. There is actually another item right there hidden in the wall. I just wall jump my way up to get it. I think you can, if you bring Mama Turtle over to the edge and ride her up, you can just shoot straight on and jump into it. I should probably, yeah, hey, Mama Turtle, come here. Just take the hit, stand on top, there you go. You're like right there, if you don't want to do the wall jumps. Two easy items. Now we'll go back to the intended path here. If you can wall jump, you can go up this way. You can even get up regular jumps if you go slower. Not a big deal. The official way you're supposed to go is this way. You know, you can jump on each platform as you go, no problem. I recommend practicing wall jumps every jump. You might as well. And eventually they'll be second nature. And you'll just fly, basically. So this room, you're supposed to use grapple beam to make your way through. I'm not going to. You could see this item as we were running up and past. So you're supposed to be like, oh, how do I get that? I could see it. How do I get there? And if you're on this screen, you can actually watch that crab will come down into this cave. That's your clue that it's there. So we're supposed to be way up there, grappling our way across. I hate grappling. So instead, I'm going to super jump. And do a very, very simple, small grapple to get over here. And that puts us halfway across the room, basically for free. You can also do a slightly you just yeet yourself, you'll land on this platform. You do the super jump, land on the easy one. Just jump, you're over here. And this is just barely like you can get up into here, and if you can wall jump off that little lip right below, you don't have to do any grappling. You just have to land that one. I got it, and I did it too high. Come on. Or, let's see if I can remember what order I'm doing this. There's another trick, and I don't remember exactly how to do it. That if you have gravity suit and you pause, and then when you start the jump, go in here and take off gravity suit, you rocket yourself straight up in water. So again, if you don't want to do any of the grapple bullshit, hit the button to pause the game, and right before it finishes fading out to the menu, push jump. Jump. That was probably a little too late. Turn off gravity suit. Yeah, it was a little too late. You want to see her jump before the menu opens. Nope. Nope. Pause. I'm pushing run, not jump. So how she jumped when I actually pushed jump that time? Turn off gravity suit, go back to holding jump, and you just keep going up. I think it's unlimited jump height. Straight up. In water. So you can skip all the grapple beam. Do I want to go up or down? I don't quite remember if it's up or down I go. We're gonna go up because there's items. There's a hidden wall right here. Or up in a passable wall, invisible hallway, collisionless wall, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to go over here to the area called the fish tank. Another wall we can just run through. Freeze some of these guys and you can just jump your way up. Otherwise you can wall jump. And then if you fall down in here, underneath this guy, there's 2 items just kind of tucked in here. So we've reached the point of the game where if you're this far in your randomizer, you're probably looking for maybe one thing. Like you're so far, you have so much stuff, it's very unlikely that you actually are looking for anything, and you can skip all of this and go straight for the boss. So unless you're, say, playing a multi-world and your partner doesn't have all of their stuff yet, maybe you keep checking all the items so your partner has something, but this is really late in the game. So, fish tank has 2 plus the 1 invisible one. It's really only muscle memory that reminds me that some of these items are here because, again, you're really late in the game. You don't actually care. My least favorite room of the game. Number 3. This room is fine. What I dislike is the backtracking. So you can do a super jump right here to get an item. That one's easy. Ta-da! You can actually see this item as you're walking by from a different spot. I think there's some... Oh. I forgot there were 2 items. That would have been awkward. You have to go over here to get the crumble blocks in order to escape anyway, but yeah. So what I don't like about this area. There's a sand pit right there, and a sand pit right here. Both of them take you to 2 items. But you have to walk all the way back. So there's another item I can't get yet, so I'm just going to this is a little tricky if you don't have spring ball. So if you don't think you can do that jump, save both of these sections for after we get spring ball later, and then just come down, you just hold jump and go whoop, and you're up here easy. Okay? Very easy. None of these items are needed right now. I'm just showing where they are. So like even right here, I need to do a double bomb jump to get up there. These are not usually anything special because they're so late in the game, unless you're on a harder difficulty. Really? Again, go get Spring Ball first, and you can just go boing, 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 and you can get these by just jumping. It's nothing. I'm getting them now because I can. I'm not going to go get the other two, though, because Spring Ball itself is to the right of here, and I can't get it without space jump, which is what we're going to get after the next boss. So I get one of them now. Doesn't really matter which one. Out of habit, I got the far one, so I can just do the close one later. You can go back and do both of them right now. They're both fully doable. But you're going to have to come back that way anyway, so you might as well save one for when you're actually backtracking. Because look where we are. We're over by that green gate. Which means we are effectively restarting all of Meridia. We're right at the start. Because there was 2 items we had to go out of our way to get. Now, I don't have to actually collect any items, so I can just go straight through. I knew he was going to end up knocking me off. I was hoping that he'd be nice. He chose his fate. And again, I don't want to do the grapple shenanigans, so I'm just going to jump. And I need to get up on that ledge. So I'm going to do another gravity jump. We're going to go up, didn't quite make it. So I guess it's not infinite height, or they didn't start it early enough. Whatever. Killing the crabs for good measure. This is not a hard grapple, right? I mean, I can do it the grapple way. I just don't like grapple beam. Because we came this way, we got to skip all of the crumbly ones. So, I mean, it was still worth it to do it the way I did it. But again, if you fall down and you get at least to that ledge, just do the gravity jump. Pause the game, jump right as it's fading to black, take off gravity suit. It'll take you straight up. Gonna save the game. Okay. Had some technical issues. I hope that they are now resolved. It was a little frustrating, but I think we're back on track. So, quick disclaimer, I had to restart the entire run, but I just speed ran my way up to this point. I believe that I have everything that I had before. But there is a chance that I forgot something in my haste to get back to this point. And I'm even just going to double check that I got this room's items. Just a quick super jump up here. Yeah, okay. I'm really... So, the way you're supposed to get up this room, you're supposed to grapple onto these wall things and jump your way up. So you grapple on, and then you actually can let go of shoot, and you'll stay there for a second. So just kind of let go, jump. Grapple, let go, jump. Like, I honestly, like, I let go, and I sit there for a minute. So you can very carefully just kind of climb up. Or, if you've made it this far in the game, do yourself a favor, learn wall jumping. Because this is, by far, easier, and you get to skip all that awkward controller stuff that I didn't actually know how to do. I just had to figure that out. So, I'm a little low on energy because I was even more sloppy than usual getting back here. This room, there's not really all that many items left. You're going to need to get your speed booster up to plow through here. And we're really just going to go punch the last boss and collect the last couple items. So this is your standard whack-a-mole type boss. He doesn't actually take very many hits. I usually hit him with the super missiles, but I'm also very sloppy with my ammo. And since I didn't come in here with as much as I had the first time around, I have to be a little more careful. So this is his rage mode, right? This is the angry, like, oh, I'm almost dead. He can't hit me. The only attack he has that can hit you in this corner is when he sticks his head out and shoots or spits at you. And once he's taken enough damage, he just doesn't do that anymore. So just charge and just kind of let go of your charge beam randomly. And you'll hit him eventually. There's not even any point in wasting your missiles. He can't hurt you, just don't waste ammo. Just fire off charge beams. Got a couple of these wormy dudes. That gap right there lets us get an item without having to double back for it. I'm gonna jump and turn into a ball, and it's pretty easy to get in here. You could also, if you're having trouble making the jump, lure one of those guys over, the ones I killed, and just freeze it. Use him to jump up. Just a couple of bombs to get us through this thing. Alright, and again, do your wall jumps. They make everything a lot easier. This is another one of those grapple beam rooms. You're supposed to use the grapple beam to do a whole bunch of platforming. Or you can just wall jump your way over. Ignore the entire puzzle. Keep jumping in order to stay out of the quicksand. pew pew. The only moderately tricky one is this jump. You have to start your jump from a little bit lower, and then because you have high jump boots, you have enough of a jump to angle your way out and then back up. It's slightly trickier, but it's still well within anyone's ability to do. These spikes don't hurt you for some reason. I don't know what your clue was that they aren't actually spikes, or that there's a random missile tank on the far side of this wall. I think you're just supposed to be stuck and using X-ray visor. Let's just confirm. Yeah, X-ray visor says that there is no floor here, but notice that says there's a gap and you don't fall through. This says there's a gap and you do fall through. So I really don't know what you were supposed to do there other than just by fluke fall in. Though this game is known for being is kind of notorious for needing you to go around and bomb every single square inch of the game to figure out where stuff is. So this boss, break open those turrets so that they stop attacking you. Little shrimpies leave, big shrimpy starts swooping in from the sides. So he has two main attacks. This goop attack, you can, if you get grabbed, hit your D-pad in circles over and over again. You have to get at least a minimum number of inputs and he'll let you go. So this time I'm going to jump over him, and we've avoided that whole attack. He always comes from alternating sides, and if you go morph ball as he swoops in, I'm getting a lot of ooze. If you go morph ball as he swoops in, so I'm going to crouch, fire, and then duck. Really? Again? Oh, I think he does it in response to my using super missiles. So, pew pew, duck. Pew pew, duck. Oh. Guess it wasn't just super missiles. So, if you duck, he can't hit you with his swoop, and you can kind of relatively safely just shoot him. If he does grab you, hit the buttons to wiggle out, or equip grapple beam, take a lot of damage, but if you can nail one of those electrified dead turrets, with the grapple beam you electrocute him and he dies. Which is only the second coolest way to kill him. Fried shrimp. Grab me some ammo. And now we get Space Jump. Space Jump is a little wonky to use. Especially because it works great underwater. You pretty much just jump at any point and you get another jump. You can basically fly for free, no timing required. Underwater. Once you get out of the water, you have to time it a little differently. Like, you actually have to time it. There's a rhythm to it a little bit. It's not quite as free as just spam buttons forever. You kind of have to be going at a regular pattern for it to work. It works way better horizontally than vertically. Think of it like, see, it already failed on me. There are some areas that are really great for it, and there's some areas that it's going to let you down. Underwater, it's great. Long horizontal distances, it's great. Trying to go vertically, not so great. So, beating that boss opens up what I believe is the last of the brown doors that only turn on when the bosses are dead. Ridley doesn't have one, I don't think. See, there again, space jump failed. And I've played this game a lot, and I still can't get space jump to work perfectly. It works. Just sometimes it takes a couple tries to get it to do what you want it to do. You're really just jumping again. It's just a double jump that you can actually turn into an infinity jump. Well, that didn't do anything. Underwater, though, it's great. You pretty much jump whenever you want, and it just flings you forward. Or upward. You have to, if you're in midair, in air, you kind of have to wait for you to be falling again. You can't go up, 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 up. You have to wait for it to start going down, and then it'll let you up. Or, most of the time, you can just wall jump and do exactly the same thing that the space jump was going to do. Just you have control over it instead of hoping that the button worked. So this relatively out-of-the-way spot has the last of our major upgrades. There is still 2 minor upgrades. Let's see. Yeah. I say minor. It's like the coolest item in the game, but you get it so late it kind of doesn't matter. But that's kind of true for this beam too. This is the last beam. There's now a morph ball upgrade and another jump upgrade is all that's left. So, this room, you have to kill all the pirates. If you are playing randomizer, which is the whole reason that you're watching this particular playthrough, hopefully. If you're playing randomizer, and especially the Link to the Past / Super Metroid one. Oh, I missed one somewhere. This room can only be exited once you kill all the enemies. If you come in here and you don't have Plasma Beam, the only other way to kill him is the Shine Spark, the super speed, and you ram into him, and maybe you can power bomb to kill them, but I don't think so. Basically, this is one of those dead-end checks. If you want to check it, fine, go save your game first, so you don't end up soft-locking yourself. I don't believe there will ever be anything in there that the game was not prepared for you. You know, if you have Plasma Beam already, great. And there's a small chance that Plasma Beam is already in there, like it's its vanilla location. There's a chance. It's just very unlikely. It's only one check. So, this late into Super Metroid, that's a common one to skip, because you probably are already in go mode, which means you already have everything you need to beat the game. Most likely, anyway. And that's going to hold true for pretty much everything that we're checking from the rest of the game. There's just such a low chance that the item you need is going to be this deep into Super Metroid. I mean, I'm showing you where the stuff is just in case, but it's far more likely that this is going to be where your golden sword is, right? The optional cool stuff that you don't need to beat the game. Highly unlikely to actually be a required item. Alright. Get ourselves a running start. break through. And now we go back underneath what I mentioned before. We went down here onto the far left one. I even double-checked my other video from before my technical problems. Now we're going to go in the closer quicksand pit and basically do the same thing. Two more items. If you are not really good at wall jumps and all that stuff, and you still want to get one of the two quicksand pit items, go in the close one first. Because this one's very easy. You just jump up these ledges. No fanciness required. And this one is not very hard to get. I do believe that you can get... I'm trying to do it without spinning. Okay, let me just turn off. Let me turn off space jump. I believe that if you try hard enough, you can get up onto that little lip right there. Oh, see, I got a good jump, but I was at the wrong position. See, I usually just go up here. And force myself into here. If you have space jump, it's trivial. We're underwater, space jump works perfectly. So, you space jump up either way. If you don't want to try to squeeze through the little gap with the ball, just space jump up here. And then you just go around this way. You will need to turn into a ball in order to get through that little bit. But that's just turning into a ball ahead of time and then holding left. It's not a timing thing. Now we're gonna go get the one of the items that I never found on my own. This was a GameShark.com back in the day, where my brother and I were just like, there's no way there's actually an item here. You know, oh yeah, break the crumbly grapple block and then run through. Absolutely sounds like one of those like schoolyard rumor kind of things, not an actual real thing. You can't kill this guy. I'm gonna fast forward. You have to sit around and wait for him to cut all of this brown dirt out of your way. If you kill him, you have to reload the room. It takes a long time. Alright, now we're going to get an item that comes way too late to be useful. And in future Metroid games, they just give it to you for free. The spring ball. It lets you jump while you're a morph ball. It's handy, like, in a couple spots. Like, I don't have to put bombs down in order to get height anymore. But there's only a couple of spots in the game that you can't just jump and turn into the ball and you'll make it in just fine. It's a nice quality of life thing if you get it early because randomizer. So, like, if I see it early on in a randomizer, I'm perfectly happy with that. It's a nice quality of life thing. I won't complain about getting it. But it is a completely optional item. It is not required, and you'll see seeds that you just never see it. There's going to be a lot of times you just never see it. It's definitely not worth going out of your way to look for. Alright, now that we've beaten boss number 3, it's time to go fight Ridley. Ridley also has very little in the way of items. If I get a missile... There's a missile refill room right over here. I want to see what my missile count is at, just to make sure I'm on track. And rather than farm enemies, I'm just gonna go into the room. Because it's literally... one super missile will get me through. Alright. Oh, it was energy. Dang it. I thought it was a missile one for some reason. Oh well. I see 205 written there. Are you gonna drop me missiles? Nope. It's hard to remember exactly how many are in Ridley's area, just off the top of my head. There are 230 missiles maximum. I looked this up when I was running through this the first time. 230, 50, 50. That's your ammunition, and then obviously the energy needs to be all of the energy. Using the speed booster to get in here as intended this time. Gonna get our first of those missile tanks. When you go through this door, hold right to turn and hug the wall again, because that breaks. The missile is straight ahead. We want to space jump over to it. That missile is a big pain in the butt to get without space jump. You can like freeze one of those fire guys and try to ride him up the wall, or you could just shoot the thing and then quickly wall jump your way up to it. It's a pain, especially if you forget to shoot the wall and even see what it is, because remember, in a randomizer, you don't have to get everything. So shoot the wall, and if it's missiles in the randomizer, don't bother getting it. Just skip it. Only go and bother trying to get it if it's a worthwhile item. Don't break your back for rupees, man. Alright, so we're back to Bubble Mountain. This green area here. Just trying to make sure I got that item over there. Alright, as we make our way to Ridley, this is where you would have been if you had gone for Wave Beam the normal way. You would just continue on and then climb up and around and back, and yeah, because it doubles back on itself too. We're just gonna go down here. There's no items between here and Wave Beam. And there's no way you would... Well, first of all, you wouldn't have the power bomb to open the door. But second, getting through that lava without space jump or gravity suit, huge pain in the butt. There's like 10 different ways to do it, because so many people have figured out ways to do it. Some of them are ridiculously hard. Some of them, not so bad. In any way, you don't need to ever do it without the proper items in a randomizer unless you're stuck and desperate. You know, strategically, I will say, sometimes you get stuck. Sometimes you forget there's a treasure chest, you know, in some random location, and you just feel stuck. And sometimes sequence breaking or doing a trick will get you unstuck. Like maybe you can't find a sword, but because you did a sequence break, you found what would have been the second sword, and it unsticks you. It unsticks you because you found something that's good enough to get you through. So there is a reason to make an attempt, at least, at A, doing some of these tricks, but really even just knowing them. Alright, don't screw me, space jump. It failed on that last one, but I was far enough over. I hate walking all the way back around to get that. So this is a really tough boss if you fight him fair. He jumps away from you and tries to slash you. If you get right up on him and just shoot straight up, he'll try to jump away from you into the wall, and you can just charged plasma beam straight up, and he'll never dodge you. There's actually a safe place to stand. I'm a little bit too close, I think. But he goes down to the charge shot with the plasma beam pretty easy. He is a really tough boss when I was little, because if you try super missiles, he literally catches them and throws them back at you. But then I saw somebody just laser him while standing there, and now he's very trivial. Screw attack. Now you're a buzzsaw. Combined with the space jump, you have infinite buzzsaw ability. So second item up here, and we out. Screw attack kills dang near every enemy in the game. You're another energy room, aren't you? Yes. Now you might recognize this area. I believe this is one of the doors that leads into Link's Awakening. I don't remember which one it is. I think this is maybe the one in Misery Mire. One of those extraneous caves that goes nowhere. Now leads right there. So, just keep in mind that there's an item literally right underneath that doorway. And a boss in there with an item right above him. There's not a lot of great item density down here, but I've played games where the actual intended way to beat it was they didn't give you the items that you could get through Super Metroid until way late. They actually intended you to purposely come through this very late doorway. They didn't want you to have the items that actually got you here. You were supposed to take the shortcut. That can be part of the logic of the randomizer. The computer could say, hey, you have the means of getting to Misery Mire, or wherever the cave transition is. We are not going to give you gravity suit. We are not going to give you space jump. You are intended to go through that, basically a warp point, and skip down here. And then you might find one of your items, like right here. Like, I haven't needed gravity suit for anything since we got here. We only needed it to get through the lava dive. Once you're through the lava dive, everything else is pretty much vanilla. Or, not vanilla. You don't... normal. That's what I'm trying to say. There's no need for the gravity suit once you are already in here. So the game might expect you to go in that back door. There is also one that leads deep into Meridia. I've also had that one be relevant. I don't remember what it was I didn't have, but I needed to use that to get into Meridia. I've also soft locked getting into Meridia. The Meridia being the water area we just beat that other shrimp boss in. I have soft locked myself and had to restart the game and lose a bunch of progress because I forced my way in there and I couldn't get back out because I didn't have any items. Don't go into the water area without the gravity suit. The game will never expect you to do that. Unless you're on some of the harder difficulty settings in a real Super Metroid randomizer. The combo one will not make you do that unless you force it to be a hard mode. Alright. Another one of those the lava is rising type of rooms. And we're finally to Ridley. Well, we're finally to the last little bit to get to Ridley. Still have a couple rooms to go, but that's a save point. Ridley has buried himself very deeply in this area. And there's so little items. You saw me get that one kind of out of the way item that was kind of just tucked away. Had a little bit of backtracking to it. But after that, there's this. You might notice that there was an extra little brick that blows up when you blow up the other thing to make progress. So just at a glance, we have 49 super missiles. I believe that means we have all of the super missile upgrades. And I want to say we're at 45 on power bombs. That sounds right. Alright, so these pirates are immune to dang near everything. What you need to do to beat these things is wait for them to jump over you, and then they'll turn yellow and be vulnerable during their ninja kick. So just run up to them, wait for it to jump over you, and then jump over it when it jumps up to do its ninja kick. Quick, easy. You just... It's almost like a manipulation of their AI. You just want to set yourself up so that you get them as easy as possible. I kind of like to just confirm he's not going to drop a missile. Alright, so we definitely need one power bomb tank and 2 missile tanks, and I'm mentally trying to count how many I know where are. I know where the 2 energy tanks are, so I know we're good on those. Do we have all the reserve tanks? Yes. That whole thing is filled out. Good. I know 2 missile tanks, and that last thing should be a power bomb, so I think we're good. Alright, so we finally find Ridley. Ridley is just a slugfest. Just firing all the missiles into Ridley. Just do more damage to him than he does to you. Now, there is one little trick to Ridley. When he gets to his red phase, and he's taking a lot of damage. Ooh, getting a lot of nice missile hits. He's going to try to initiate a grab. And this grab is more of a cutscene than an attack. If you dodge the grab, the game just lets Ridley live on 0 HP for another couple minutes. Like doesn't matter if you damage him or not. So I'm being careful not to, like, over damage him now, because I want him to grab me to get that faster kill. Come on. I know you want me. Because the thing is, even when he's dead, and I think that was it. I think he failed. He doesn't stop attacking you at 0 HP when he's failed his cutscene. So you can still die after having technically beaten him. Just because his coding is a little broken to end the fight. Right. So your reward for beating him is only an energy tank, because we're at the end of the game. Most speedruns at this point just beeline it for the final boss. Come on, Space Jump, do your job. We need, what did I say? 2 missile tanks and a power bomb, and they're just on the way out. And if something's on the way out of the last main boss of the game, then there's not going to be anything good here. But if you're playing multi-world, be a good teammate and check them on your way out anyway. These are all very fast, and you have to walk past them anyway. Boing. Alright. And don't forget, if you have screw attack, that you can just kill everything basically by jumping at it. Don't shoot things that are big that take 4 or 5 hits to kill. Just somersault into them. So like these guys, yeah, these guys are getting a somersault because they take like 4 or 5 hits. Or you just somersault and you completely ignore them. If they're smart, they run away from you. Alright. We're going to continue forward. That was a weird little detour that you had to figure out that there was dirt you could mess with to get down to Ridley. I'm not sure how you're supposed to figure that out. Or that you can kill specifically that one guy that spits little fireballs. None of the other ones die when you shoot him. You can shoot that one and run through his dead body to go get the last energy tank. Again, if you know it's there, it's not hard to get. It's the how would you know it's there. I'm curious. Oh, I guess you can kill the other ones, I just never bothered. Now I want to know if I can kill it with a missile. Can I freeze it? Nope, you have to super missile him. And I've only got one left, so I'm not going to bother, so Alright. You can see an item from in here. You can't get it from here, but you can see it. So you can look, see if it's worth running over and getting to save yourself a moment of time if it's something useless, and it probably will be because it's way too late in the game. So we double back over here. There's our second to last missile. And then because we know there's an item over there, we're going to bomb our way through. That's what it is. This is where Spring Ball kind of comes in useful. I can just hold down the jump button and I can get through this entire maze pretty easy. Now I can grab that item we saw. See, I like these ones. I like when you can see the item. Like, you can see the item, so you know there's gotta be a way to go get it. And now that's giving you the clue to go bomb every wall and figure out how it is you're supposed to get in there. I don't like the ones like the next one, that are just like, how would you know that unless you were just meticulously bombing every square inch of the game. Like, what's your hint that that's there? And I believe that is, for us, the final pickup of the game. I won't be able to confirm for sure until we get to the ship and get that refill, but before Ridley we were basically full, and I believe that we're at the right numbers. Which is pretty good, since I had to restart the entire run up to that shrimp boss because of technical issues. So I managed to do it twice, perfectly. I did finish the run the first time around. I just lost the footage, basically. If you skipped this earlier, this is a good time to do it. That room that has 3 items, but you had to kind of awkwardly jump to get up and in there. It's fine to do it now. Whatever. There's a couple of areas that I'm thinking of moving what order I do them when I speedrun this game, just to see if it's any faster or if it's any easier. I tend to go for easier. There's a lot of things I could do that are faster if I practice them because they're way harder and I don't know how to do them yet. You know, most obvious one being learning how to beat the Phantom Ghost guy boss easier. He's got his own little, like, AI manipulation stuff. I don't know how to do it. That's a lot of practice to learn something to save a good amount of time. So at this point of the game, we're going to run past a bunch of stuff. So if you forgot to go get that extra item in Kraid that you need the power bomb to get, you are passing right by it right there. If you took the long way to get back to Ridley instead of coming down what they call Red Tower that we went up and down a couple times, if you did not go all the way to the top of this room and instead you went the long way around to pick up some extra items, this is a perfectly fine time to go clean up those items from the top of this red tower. These platforms break if you screw attack through them, but if you shoot, you stop your screw attack. And you can just, nice and careful, make your way up easy. A good room for space jump because it's horizontal. A bad room for space jump because it's vertical. I do believe this is the fastest way back up to the surface. This is also a good time if you haven't... Okay, another tip. This is important. If you have not beaten Link to the Past yet and you're doing the combo randomizer, go beat Link to the Past first. At this point, you should just save your game, load up, you know, just save yourself in Metroid here and go back to Link to the Past. Because the randomizer expects you to beat Zelda first and then come and do the run at Mother Brain. There's no continue option after Mother Brain. You have to beat Ganon first. I would just save at the ship and then head back into Zelda. The ship is a nice place to be because the ship, it'll keep reminding you, because it refills you, it'll remind you how many items you have. So, like, because I'm only playing Super Metroid, I know I have all the items. 2, 30, 50, 50. And I have all of the things like Spring Ball. I'm good. More faster. There is the primary. Oh, I should, no. I saved at the ship. The primary link to the past portal is also right in the beginning of the game, so everything kind of works out. You have to freeze Metroids before you can kill them. Those Metroid-looking things we killed in Meridia, the water area, those are Mocktroids. They are not Metroids. Get off me. 3 power bombs will kill Metroids. You literally do not need power bombs for the rest of this game. So, it's actually a little bit faster to purposefully grab the Metroids on every screen. Make them all die at the same time. We're gonna try that on this screen. I'm gonna run by, be like, yo, come with me. Yeah, both of you. And we're just gonna drop power bombs. Rather than bother shooting them one at a time and going, oh no, it's on me. Like, no, we're just gonna bloop, got them all. We have all of the health, and there's literally no use for power bombs for the rest of this run. You know, the last 5 minutes or whatever of this run. There's no reason to use them for anything else. They're actually going to be taken away very soon. So there's extra no reason to save them. The only ones you want to save are the super missiles. And even then, missiles don't really matter. So, cutscene mode. Oh no, it's a big Metroid. It's the one from the beginning of the game, growing bigger. Oh, but it remembers you at the last moment. Good thing I didn't just murderize it. And then because it was just a cutscene and the game has no intention of being quite this mean, there's a missile and health refill room. Note the missile refill only gives you regular missiles, not super missiles. So I'm saving those super missiles for the final boss because I like to. I only really need 20. I think 20 kills her. That's a save point. Never use it. We're already past the point of no return. You save there, you're screwed. You can't get back to Zelda. You can't go back and look for extra items. And if you're playing multi-world with somebody and you forgot to find their silver arrows, yeah, you just screwed them. So, those red things regenerate pretty quick. So you want to hit them hard and fast. And then Mother Brain herself, just more missiles. Insert missiles here. Apply missiles liberally. Just push the button fast. if you play like I do and you play closer to the 100% go get all the items kind of mentality, you've got more than you'll ever need. You don't have to worry about wasting shots. Hey, yo, hey. Yeah. Fire all of the missiles. Do not dodge the attacks. Don't dodge the attacks. I know it sounds weird, but you actually want to take damage. When Mother Brain gets into cutscene mode, which is going to be pretty soon. Cutscene mode. Big rainbow laser. But if it doesn't drop you to a low enough health... Oh, I got low enough. She has to sit there and shoot her regular attacks at you, and then rainbow beam again. So because I wasn't dodging, I took enough damage that I didn't have to sit through her just sitting there and tapping me low enough so that the cutscene made sense. Oh, I guess that was that, though. Dang it. Apparently I had so much health, I got 2 rainbow beams and then cherry tapped. Dang it. I was excited about actually taking enough damage for once. But alas, I took even less damage than I thought I did. Alright. We're still in cutscene mode. Once that first rainbow beam goes off, you're good. The only, like, corner case, crazy corner case, where you care about your health here is if you're doing a suitless run and you have no Varia and no gravity, she can accidentally kill you during the cutscene because you're supposed to have armor, and the game miscalculates how much damage it wants to deal to you. It's like, oh, we need to hit her 3 times to get her down into proper cutscene range. Hits you twice and you die because you have no armor. Oops. That'll never happen unless you're going out of your way to make it happen. Alright. We shall again hold down the button of victory. Diagonal and shoot, and we just hold it down. This is still basically cutscene mode. I'm just holding a button down for it. There we go. Once you know how her fight works, she's probably the easiest boss in the game, but I always come in here at 100%, so... Alright. Escape time. Blow the doors open. We're gonna go down. We're gonna go down again. You can go up that way and climb up, or charge up a super jump, and it'll take you right to the door. Now we're gonna go up. And the pirates like to be jerks. The screen shakes a lot, and occasionally you just get bonked off of stuff. So we're gonna go, we went up, now we're going around. That guy should not have been able to hit me like that, but it doesn't matter. And we climb again. I like to climb, I like to wall jump, so I'm gonna wall jump to keep my height. We're gonna kill these guys, open the door, and then I'm gonna charge up another speed boost. Bonk bonk, charge up, rocket to the top of this room instead of having to climb up manually. Beautiful. My only regret is that you didn't see the bullshit that happened on my original run of this, that the technical difficulties ate. I was stopped from doing my super jump because one of those two pirates I ran through just kicked Samus between the legs, just BAM! And just stopped my super run, just cold, just BAM! Stopped. So, this is saving the animals. You open that door and they can escape. Most people don't do this. Don't do it in the randomizer, because some of the randomizers are specifically coded to kill you if you even dare to go in there, because they hate saving the animals, because I don't know why. Also, you can get yourself stuck, like I kinda did in the video that you can see on the channel. I forgot I didn't have regular bombs, and they did not open that thing up for me, so I had to squeeze my way out the other way. And I just barely made it out. Because they took away all your power bombs during that mother brain fight, with that big rainbow beam kills all your ammunition. So don't bother saving the animals in randomizer. Half the time you just end up having to redo the boss fights because the randomizer kills you for daring to try to save someone. Plus, at this point, this is the second game you're beating in one sitting. Just finish the game. Just get your credits. Clear time 2:05 is not too shabby. I ran pretty fast through that first half. That would have been an in-game time under 2 hours easy if I wasn't talking as I was going. Although I don't feel like I was particularly slow, but there was a couple of things I double-checked. In the vanilla game, beating it under 2 hours and 100% is basically it's how you super beat the game. That's what the developers put in as the one where you get the best ending. That's the true ending. There you go. That's what I'm trying to say. The true ending is 100% under 2 hours. You know, speedrunning was baked into this game's blood. The hardest run is low percent, where you don't take anything. 100% is pretty easy. Low percent is hard, because you got to beat all the bosses with nothing. You've got nothing. I'm just waiting for my confirmation screen of 100% before I call this done. Come on, give me my 100%. I'm pretty confident. I'd be mad if it was anything else. There we go. 100%. There is Super Metroid, vanilla, 100%, with a bunch of extra little tips and tricks you can do. Just for your information, you know, hopefully watching this prepares you to move on to do the Zelda Metroid combo randomizer. If you've only played the Zelda half, hopefully this helped you so you can work your way through the Super Metroid half. If you have questions, put them in the comments. I have no competition for comments, so you will get a response. Pretty much guaranteed. But yeah, hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully I don't have technical difficulties again. Have a good night.